Hi, Sunshine Moore here, creator of FitTech. We are the hub for virtual fitness instructors to learn technology and equipment solutions, plus sales and marketing strategies to successfully launch your online businesses. From our mini courses to our signature course, we bring education to you around the world. And when we do that, you go out and serve the world. And that is a mission that we can get behind. We'll meet you where you are ready. Maybe it's a mini course, confidence on camera. Maybe it's a 7-day challenge, how to set up your virtual studio. Or maybe you're ready for the signature course, how to successfully launch your online business, which includes not only all of the tech aspects, but sales and marketing strategies. We aim to build our know, like, and trust factor with you with this podcast. And also in each podcast, there are resources in the notes and ways to connect with us further. Please check the notes, reach out. We are here for you, FitPro. Hey, FitPro. How are you doing? I mean that. How are you doing? Life is wearing a badge of busy, and I want to make sure that you're doing okay. Checking in with you. What do you need? I'm recording this the morning after my daughter's preschool graduation, which of course is an exciting moment for her and for us as her parents. And it's one of those moments that if you take it in and realize how quickly we've gotten to this point, it's also a moment to take pride, take a moment to know each day, each moment, each week is a gift, and we need to be intentional with our time. Are you being intentional with your time? Are you focused on what you are trying to achieve? Have you declared what you are trying to achieve? If I asked you in an elevator, what is your why behind having your virtual studio? Could you tell me? Is it clear? Would it be repeatable to somebody else tomorrow? Would you say the same thing? When we were at my daughter's graduation yesterday, I knew enough to not only bring my tripod, but I knew to get higher than the rest of the audience. I ended up climbing on some bleachers and putting my iPhone in a tripod, and it was tilting just slightly downward. And then that way I was higher than all the parents raising their hands in the air with their phones, and I was higher than the grandpa in the back row who was probably 6'4", holding his arm way in the air. And I share this because today we're going to talk about cameras. And I share this because cameras and angles are important. They're pivotal to what you're doing. You are recording a virtual fitness class. Having a camera that is at an angle that works for our participants, that is a camera that records in a quality that they can download is important. And having a camera that connects to your music and your microphone so that you are clear and succinct is important. I'm going to share 3 different phone calls that I had with people about cameras. And I want you to take from this that there's no right answer per se in what camera you use, both for on-demand or live, but to know that there are lots of different options. And if you have 1 or 2 options already, start with those. And then we can get the cords that you need for that iPhone or that computer. Or maybe you buy a webcam, maybe a Logitech webcam. I'm not sure what it is that you might need. That's why each business is individual and why I help clients one-on-one individually. And if that's you, of course, reach out. And then if you're not ready for one-on-one to help, maybe you are ready for that mini course I talked about in the intro. Maybe you're ready to be confident on camera. That's a mini course that I have because that is a big stumping or stopping block for a lot of people. I know that as a psychologist that we can have all the right tools and technical information, but if we don't have the confidence to actually push play, it's never going to happen. Check the show notes of this episode. There's a particularly juicy resource about cameras, more equipment resources, YouTube explanations of videos that I found for you and made a YouTube playlist for you. So be sure to go check the show notes and click on the resources to get that guide on cameras. And of course, if you need anything at all, reach out to me. I'm Sunshine. Reach out to me on Instagram at FitTech University, and I will be happy to help you with you and your individual fitness business. The first call is with Luke, and we are talking about a webcam. And you don't have to know all the details about webcams. Just know that I'm asking the details, the specific questions about shaking, focusing, cords, and whatnot. Here we go.
Pretty straightforward. I mean, USB cam. So just like, anything that you would use for like a laptop or a computer, right? It's just like this, but it's just a souped up version of it. And it turns, it tilts, and it can zoom. So you can mount this. It literally pan tilts and zooms. That's why it's called PTZ.
Okay.
So it can
how
rotate.
Is it mounted?
Sorry?
How is it mounted?
It can be an L bracket on the wall.
Okay.
You can also get a ceiling mount for it. So you can attach it vertically over the head.
Okay. Does it plug in to a laptop?
Yes. So here's your kit. One USB here, second USB here.
Okay.
So one USB for the camera, one USB for the mixer.
Makes sense. And Does it matter if it's plugged into a Mac or a PC?
I don't believe so. They're not Mac or Windows specific, both of these units. They both use standard drivers that work for both. Nothing to worry about there.
Okay. And can someone zoom the camera in, or is it one distance only?
Yeah, 10 times zoom on that guy.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, field of view time. So you can zoom way in on somebody, right? 60.9. Okay. And you can zoom way out on somebody too. Have a nice big wide look. So.
And how do you actually do that? Are you turning the camera?
Remote control is the easiest way. Use point and shoot. Okay. Just like your TV remote, looks just like it. Okay. If you want to get into the nitty gritty, you can dial into it by typing in numbers that look like this to your website, and then you end up dialing into it through a network. So this can be plugged into a network.
Intentional decrease in volume right there, as he went into very, very technical ways to dial into the internet to control the camera. And so that's where I think a lot of us get lost, because we don't want it to be that technical. We want it to be easy, right? We want to plug this webcam into our laptop, which is possible. So let's move on to the next part. What would be the benefit of hardwiring that camera into the router modem?
You can watch it remotely, right? From anywhere in the world.
Someone would help me from your company do that?
Yeah, we can do that if you need help with it. I mean, setting up a camera in a network depends on what we're plugging it into. But yeah, absolutely.
So I know to you it's probably child's play. That could be a deal breaker for even buying the camera if I don't have someone to help me set all of that up.
Yeah, no, we offer tech support on everything. So.
On everything, okay. That was call number 1 that I'm going to share with you. And I think that sometimes when you're in something, whether it's tech or whatever it is, when you get so ingrained in it and know it so well, you forget where you were when you started. So you forget what you don't know and you don't remember. When I make these phone calls and do this research, while I was an operations manager for a sound production company, I try very hard to forget everything I know and pretend that I know nothing, because that way I can get a very detailed explanation of literally plug this in right here, because some of us need and want that, and some of us won't get started unless we have that. I am committed to getting those very specific answers. Click here, plug here, step by step, so that you feel confident with setting up your virtual studio. The next call is with my former boss, who I mentioned I was an operations manager for, and it's a sound production company. And you'll notice that he sounds great and I sound muffled. He actually helped me, and all this research is helping me to improve my sound quality for you. It's one thing to record a virtual fitness class, but it's another thing to record calls and podcasts. Now I have a mic, I have a setup with GarageBand, I have a setup with sound cancellation, headphones, all the things. It's been a process for me as well. I say that because, again, with the call you just heard and the call you're about to hear, you'll notice there is some discrepancy. And I looked at when I did this last call, and it was actually, it's June, February, 4 months ago. And I've been doing all this research to put all this together for you. And I mention, again, all these details because I think that when I share behind the scenes, or when I see people sharing behind the scenes, it makes me feel closer to them, or that I can relate to them, or that they're more real, and that they go through the hills and valleys of building businesses just like I do. And it makes me feel okay about the hills and valleys. Here we go with the next call. So we've covered the mic options, maybe have some Bluetooth earplugs in. Let's talk about cameras. iPhones are what primarily people are using. If they're not using an iPhone, they're using their laptop. Can you speak about the camera on the iPhone? I know you know a lot about that.
The camera on the iPhone's great. It's, I had a friend call me the other day, said he had a $500 to $800 budget for a camera. He's trying to record some videos of him DJing and that kind of thing. And I said, cool, just buy an iPhone. Like, that's the answer. The iPhone cameras are generally always superior to the cameras in the laptops, the webcams. Interestingly, the MacBook Pro, even a loaded MacBook Pro's webcam has been a relatively low res. It's been, if you know about resolution, 720 HD, which is the entry level HD. TVs before they became 4K were HD, and the webcam on a MacBook Pro, including mine from 2020, is still less than regular HD. You know what I mean? It's still 720p. So the iPhone's a great camera. Unless you're looking at really understanding more about a camera, I don't think you need to move from a modern, good quality phone.
Vertical or horizontal?
Depends on what your content's for. So if you're going to create a class for somebody like me that I'm going to watch in my living room and work out, you generally want all your content to be horizontal, because I'm going to be watching it on my TV and would be annoyed if I've got portrait iPhone videos. It's going to look amateur, right? However, if you're creating some ad work and you want to run an Instagram campaign and do some stories about how your classes work, you may want to then shoot that stuff in portrait. If you're shooting in 4K, and you may be stretching it with a phone, but with a professional camera, I'm actually using a professional Blackmagic camera right now on this Zoom call. I can shoot in 6K with it, and so I can crop. I could actually get content if I wanted to for portrait or for landscape. But you just shoot for the purposes of what you're doing, where your audience is watching. That's what you want to shoot for.
If our audience is watching on a laptop, but we are shooting it from an iPhone, should we still have the iPhone horizontal? Or
yes.
Landscape?
Yep.
And the camera would be on top, right? You would not want the camera on bottom. Would it make us upside down?
No, iPhone will auto rotate. Plus, you could always edit and post. But yeah, it just depends on what looks good. I mean, usually if you're shooting from a distance, there's not a big difference, But sometimes if I'm out before, actually, I just bought a new device. Maybe I'll show you here, but before having that, sometimes if I'd be out with the family and want to take a picture, I might lean this against something, and to get the right angle, I might be leaning it like this, and I have my lens sticking out. So that's going to affect, what side's up or down. But in the end, if you got a stand to hold your phone, which you should for anything you're doing here, and you can get them cheap on Amazon, it really should be, it doesn't matter, whatever looks good in the end.
Thank you. Should we look at the front of the phone or the back?
Your better cameras are on the back side of the phone. Okay. Now, if you're doing this all yourself, and you don't have someone like a partner, spouse, roommate to come take a look at your phone and say, hey, it looks great or whatever, one of the things you can do is, if you have Apple TV compatibility, which is built into a lot of TVs today, particularly the Samsungs, you can actually just swipe on your phone and mirror your your phone screen to the TV. So that means if you need something to monitor and see how you're looking, you can actually just mirror your phone screen to the TV and then turn on the camera and record. But you should use the backside camera. Those cameras will be better quality than the front-facing one.
I also recommend, in addition to what you're saying, to put a mirror behind their camera so you can see my mirrors.
That's great.
As a bonus, because I've seen a lot of instructors hop out of the frame
Yeah.
of teaching. Like, we're over there, and
yeah. DJI makes a lot of drones, and they make gimbals. And this is a really cool, this is the OSM5. They make it in white and gray. And it is an iPhone gimbal, and it allows you to put your phone in it, and it comes with its own included recording app for taking photos, panoramas, videos, whatever. And it's got a lot of nice things, including face tracking. So you can put this out, set your phone on it, and do your iPad or your AirPod, and even extend it up. And you can be talking to it and walking back and forth in a room, and it will follow your face for the most part.
wow,
So for someone shooting their own videos, and this thing's like $170.
that's not bad at all.
Stored at local Amazon warehouses. You could probably order it now and get it by 10 in the morning.
We'll get into how to sell without selling in just a minute.
Yeah, right. I should have like provider links for this so I can get some kickback, right?
You should have affiliate links, definitely. Some instructors have talked about being blurry and their camera going out of focus, so that might be the solution for them. Who here is thinking they want that second camera he talked about? I am. But you know what? I'm going to stick with my MacBook Air and my newest iPhone, and I'm going to be just fine. Nicholas is generous and thorough with his knowledge. Sometimes when I would work with him, I would have to ask him about 15 questions to break everything down into simple, digestible pieces, because he is so smart about what he knows when it comes to this industry that, again, I think that sometimes we forget what we didn't know when we started and whatnot. So I'm so grateful for his willingness to share all of this with us. And I liked his tip about portrait versus landscape. Do you film in portrait, landscape, or does it depend? We have one more call, my friend, and then we will wrap this up. Don't forget to check the show notes. There are very valuable resources in there for additional videos on setup. I put a YouTube playlist in there for you. I put in more equipment resources. And then, of course, if you're still looking for more confidence on camera, I would really love it if you would participate in our course, Confidence on Camera, and the link is in the show notes. This last call is specifically focused on connecting your iPhone and your laptop to your mixer. In a future series, I will go over lots of sound considerations, but what I want you to know is the reason I'm asking this is because it is very important to connect your iPhone to your mixer, not just have music playing in the background and the phone picking it up. In this call, you're immediately going to hear me start talking about a TrackLink cord and all the things I'm putting into my cart so that I can connect my iPhone to my mixer, I can connect my laptop to my mixer, and also assume that I have my microphone connected to my mixer as well, so that all the sound is coming through my iPhone and my laptop in a high quality way.
XLR to USB interface cable, and that is for my laptop to plug into the mixer.
You should have two.
I have to get two of those. Okay.
Yep, two of those.
Yep. And one of them is for my laptop to the mixer, and then the other one is for the mixer to my cell phone, plus the USB Lightning adapter.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all for the cell phone that's recording on demand. And that will connect the cell phone to the mixer so that it can actually connect with the music. Is that right?
Yep, you will get the exact same sound that's coming out of your speakers being recorded directly to your phone.
Oh, so good. Okay, and then the last piece is the XLR cable, and that is for adding distance?
You need 2.
I need 2, okay.
Yep.
I need 2 of those.
Cables are only like 3 feet,
Ah,
so you'll probably need to put your computer or your phone further than 3 feet from your equipment. So
Okay.
I'd probably say get at least the 25-footers,
Okay.
because it's better to have too much than too little.
so we're putting those, we're kind of creating our own extension cord, if you will, with the XLR various length
Exactly.
cable. Okay.
Yeah, you can do the 25, 50, 100. Yeah, but whatever length you need there.
Again, naive question. How does the XLR various length cable connect to the track link?
Well, the track link is XLR to USB, and the back of your FlexMix has the XLR output. So it's just taking a normal XLR cable, and then you plug the track link into the end of that.
You plug the track link into the other cord or into the mixer?
So into the cord. So the cord goes into the mixer, and then the track link goes into the cord.
Into the cord. Okay. All right. I'm piecing that all together. Perfect. Okay.
Yep.
You're so patient.
No problem.
Do you like what you do?
FitPro, do you like what you do? Isn't that why we do this? You're probably not making $1 million at it, right? But what do you want to make doing this? What is your financial forecast? I know this episode is about cameras. We started at the beginning of the episode with what our why is. Have you declared that? Have you written that down? Now I'm talking about cameras, and for the main part of the episode, right? We started with the first caller went over the webcam, and then the second, Nicholas, we talked about portrait versus landscape with our iPhones, and then the third call was what equipment you would need to connect your iPhone and your laptop to your mixer that you need to have. Get the mixer. Psst, get the mixer. And now I'm saying, do you enjoy what you're doing? I think that's why fitness instructors are fitness instructors, right? We, for the most part, aren't able to sustain this as a full-time career. Say you were a single mom, you wouldn't be able to sustain this as your only living. However, if you did do that, would it still be fun? And I think you're doing it because you have a giving heart. You like to help people. And if you had to feed your family with this, say you needed to make, I don't know, 50, 60K a year with fitness, and you found a way, maybe you're a studio manager, maybe you're just teaching 24 hours a day. I'm being facetious, but you get what I'm saying. Would it still be fun? Let's make it fun. Let's make it whatever your goal needs to be. Let's make it easy. Let's make this tech easy, right? Check the show notes. I keep pushing that. Check the show notes. There are more links in there for you with resources. Reach out to me on Fit Tech University on Instagram. There'll be a link for that in the show notes. You don't have to remember that. And I would love to hear from you. Maybe you have a camera set up that you have put together yourself and has worked. As I said, there are lots of different camera options, multiple ways to achieve the same result. There's no right answer. And I would love to hear from you. Have an amazing day. Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to check the notes for a resource, a free resource guide to something that you need for your business. The links to connect with us, whether it's Instagram or our website, are there. And then lastly, remember that we teach courses to help you get your business going. Right now, we're pushing the course Confidence on Camera, because before you can even start your business, you need to be able to push play. So check out that course and all of our other courses, like how to successfully launch your studio, in the show notes. Please connect. We'll see you soon.